I felt like I was stuck to the ground because I flew 27 feet out the passenger side window from the
Mm.
driver's seat. I was by myself. Um,
Wow.
I felt like when I first felt the shocking, I felt like I was stuck to the ground, like I couldn't move. And I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, damn, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna die. But I went into the ambulance and then I was just seeing like I couldn't really see too good. And then I woke up in the hospital room. So then I found out that I coded twice.
Mm.
It was just, it's one of those things where it's no way I should have walked out of that accident.
Welcome to the Life, Language, and Lyrics podcast, where we explore our passions, live with purpose, and face our fears. I'm Laina, or as some of you may know me as Dr. Davis. I'm a professor, a speech language pathologist, a baker, and a lover of people with a mission to bring a little Southern comfort to your day. I got a special guest today joining me. His name is Spike New. And Spike New is a creative director, an artist, videographer, and a visual storyteller. And so he's here to share about his creative skills and his own personal resilience story. Hey, Spike, thank you for joining.
It's so good to finally be here. I love these interviews so much. I come on them. I be watching them all the time. I was so happy. I was like, yeah, I'm about to be on there. I'm about to be on there.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you're here. So, I just gave very brief information about who you are, but can you tell us a little bit about your background, like where you from, what you do, what you like to do?
Yeah. My name is Spike New. I'm from Oxon Hill in PG County. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of different stuff, and I think that that's the thing. So when I'm glad you introduced me, I kind of at this point I got try to do my own thing. I do a lot of different things, like as far as creating, it's just not music. You know what I'm saying? I curate shows. I curate a lot of different, you know what I'm saying? A lot of different type of, organized events. I do a lot of storytelling. I do cinematography work. I do a lot of writing. So I really look at myself as like a creative. I don't really box myself in because at any time I could be doing this and then tomorrow be like, you know what? I want to do this more. Or, something. It's just, I do things where I feel like it's a lot of spaces where curation and those type of skills are needed because there's not a lot of it. Even though people think that it is, you think that anybody that got a camera is a cinematographer, or you think that anybody that's doing anything on Instagram is everything, you know what I'm saying? And it's not. So I do a lot of different things, just a lot of in the creative space. Music is just my favorite right now. A lot of things when I first started, I was doing music videos, I was shooting camera. Then I started getting deeper into like the camera work, and the camera work took me into like storytelling. And you know what I'm saying? Just being creative, just using my experiences and my knowledge to kind of put it to a place where people could see it. The camera was good for that, but the camera actually led me to the music. So at this point, I just kind of do anything you got to check for me for. At this point, if you got to check for me, you know what I'm saying? I ain't like a lot of people think that because I rap now that I don't still do videos. No, I do still do videos. Y'all just don't be trying to pay enough for me to do it. And I really
Mm.
wish I would start because I could use that.
Is out of all the things that you do, is there one thing that you're kind of drawn to the most?
I feel like I would say music because it directly gives me the access to tell you how I feel. But I
Mm-hmm.
also have, short films and things that I've done with the camera to bring certain stories to life or add light or shed light to different stories. I would say music, but my music, when I do the music, I shoot my own videos. So it's like a process. I make the music, then I shoot the video, which, you know what I'm saying, go hand in hand to give you a complete thought about what I'm trying to convey. Because I'll be
Mm-hmm.
rapping about one thing, but then adding a visual to it to paint the picture of what I'm saying is like the same thing. So I would say that I love them both equally. I just think that the music puts you more in the forefront and makes people be able to see it. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's very
Mm-hmm.
tangible with videos. Maybe not so much.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. And so you said that doing the videos led you into the music. Can you talk a little bit about your musical journey? Like, what has that been like? How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing music for a long time. I wasn't rapping. I was playing
Mm-hmm.
the keyboard at first,
Ah,
and I played the keyboard for a lot of go-go bands growing up, small stuff like that, churches, things of that nature. But I always had music in me. I just, the playing the music and rapping is two different things. I always knew that I could rap, but I never wanted the attention that came with rap.
mm-hmm.
So when I started doing the camera pushed me into producing the songs for other people. So I produce the song and shoot the video. I do both. And then, one day one of my homies was like, "Man, you be having all these critiques, man. You couldn't do this." And I'm like, "Bro, I definitely could do this." And then I made that song. I still got that song and I listen to it from time to time, but I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but it was at a point where I knew it was something that I could build on.
Okay. What's the name of the song?
Versace dishes.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I rap with these dudes called Northside, and
Okay.
they like really deep into different things, so their names are crazy.
Okay. That's interesting. And I guess I also want to know, what does your creative process look like? Now, I'm imagining maybe you have more than one because you do so many things.
hmm
Um, but like if you're getting ready to work on an album or a song, what does that process look like for you?
If I'm about to work on a song, I write a lot because I write for therapy. I don't necessarily write just to write music. Like I might have a
Mm-hmm.
thought right now. I might be at a day party, I might be at a brunch, I might be driving down the street, I might be with my kids, I might be on a date with somebody. And I just had like different thoughts. And what I do is because I don't tell lies in my music, I just
Mm-hmm.
pull from those spaces. So I can make a song quite easily. Like if I just land at the studio, obviously my team, they have set days when I go to the studio, so it's kind of planned. So, you kind of just write to be prepared to make a song. But when you're talking about an album, in the beginning, I made albums just to make albums. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was always in the studio a lot, so I was always able to put out an album like when I was ready, and it had a meaning at that time. But now I feel like it's different. I needed to wait till I was at a place where I was ready to share what I was going through. And I feel like when you go through a certain amount of things, you just hit the breaking point where you're like, I got to share this because everything about my music is about sharing. Whether it's about
Mm-hmm.
putting a girl on a plane and sending her somewhere, bringing her somewhere, whether it's a fancy dinner, whether it's whatever it is, it really happens. So it's just like when I put the whole story together. Like right now, I'm in the process of making an album and I probably have like 20 songs done right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the average person would say you could put out a album, but Zay wants, 40. The label wants like 40 or 50 songs to choose from. So I just keep going and I make music that's true to myself. I pull from, various outlets. I got one artist that I work with, and when I'm with her, I just feel like writing, like I could write a song in 20 seconds with her. Where if I was by myself, it could be a little harder, but that's because she pushes me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I respect her craft, she respect mine. So just it's just the gift. Like whenever it works because you have to, putting this stuff together in this space is like it's different. Like it has to feel like something. You gotta feel something to be able to put it out there and write it like that. Like if I say you deserve it, you know what I'm saying? You got, you know what I'm saying? You had to go through that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds good. Um, And I guess I'm going to transition a little bit because you told us a lot about what you do and all of your creativity and everything. But you also are here because you've experienced something pretty serious. And I'm thinking it's about maybe about a year ago.
My 1 year anniversary was on April 26th.
Ah,
So
April 26th.
yeah, I'm a couple months past that now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. About a year and a month. So you had a pretty severe car accident.
Yeah, it
And
was bad.
you are here today to tell the story, which is always a blessing. And I just wanted to know if you can share whatever you're comfortable with, but do you remember much about that day, or can you share some things about that day?
I remember that day. I remember, before the accident happened, I was like forcing going out. And I didn't really feel like I need to go out, but I told somebody I would be there and I ain't had
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do, so I just did it. So, I left the club and I was headed somewhere and, skip a couple of details. I was driving and I was going too fast and I took the ramp and I had like when I took the ramp, I knew I was going too fast. I knew I was gonna hit the wall, so I just
Mm-hmm.
blacked out. It was like the real moment of Jesus take the wheel, like literally.
Mm-hmm.
Because once I knew, like I felt that I couldn't slow down and I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
And once I knew that, I just kind of like just let go. And then I woke up and then they was doing the shocking and they was doing like CPR. And it was just like I felt like I was stuck to the ground because I flew 27 feet out the passenger side window from the driver's
Mm.
seat. I was by myself. Um,
Wow.
I felt like when I first felt the shocking, I felt like I was stuck to the ground, like I couldn't move, and I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, "Damn, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna die." But I went into the ambulance, and then I was just seeing like I couldn't really see too good, and then I woke up in the hospital room. So then I found out that I coded twice.
Mm.
It was just it's one of those things where it's no way I should have walked out of that accident. It's
Mm-hmm.
no way. It's no way that I made it through that accident. I don't know what God got planned for me and the people that's around me, but it gotta be something crazy because it's no way that I made it out of that. There's no way.
Yeah. 27 feet. You flew and coded twice. So he got a
When I
pretty.
woke up, they was like this clear, clear. And I was trying to move. I don't know, like I was trying to move and I couldn't move. It felt like I was like sticking to the ground. My arm was dislocated, twisted, and they popped it back in place right there at the scene.
Mm.
Crazy. It was a life-changing moment. And at first it was very dark. Like the days were dark after it happened because
Mm-hmm.
you have to learn how to do so much for yourself again. Like it was a very traumatic accident. So it was a lot of injuries afterwards. And even to be able to be here a year later is a testament of Lord God. I mean, something because I shouldn't have made it through the accident, but the doctors told me I would never walk again when I left the hospital.
Mm.
They said I would never be able to walk without a cane or a walker if I was able to walk again. But now, you know, I did a show in January. I'm sitting here in front of you right now. I lost a lot of
Mm-hmm.
weight, but I'm pretty good, and I'm not gonna say I can't believe it, but I'm very fortunate that God found it in His plan to spare me.
Yeah.
Because during that process, I felt like I would have been better off dead some days.
I could imagine that. I mean, your life kind of changes in a matter of minutes, and you first you're able to do whatever you want to do, and now you got some restrictions going on.
Yeah,
So you said you
and
had
it's
to,
the thank God I got no restrictions now.
yeah.
I
So
can't play
you,
basketball and stuff like
yeah,
that, but small
but you
price to pay
walking,
for your life.
you walking without the cane.
Walking without the cane, walking without the cane.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing. And then what about the recovery process? I know you kind of alluded to some of that. You were saying some days are kind of dark.
It was
Um,
brutal. It was brutal. Like, first of all, I did it without drugs. They gave me so many
mhm,
drugs when I came home and I didn't take it. My back was broke in like six places. My
mhm,
face was broke. My nose was broke. My arm, like I said, was dislocated. They popped it back in, but that was a thing. And I couldn't walk. So
mhm,
recovery, the first couple of months was like no recovery. Just
mhm,
laying in the bed, being depressed, not eating, not understanding why, not understanding how you could even begin to recover. And
mhm,
then after that, just feel like owed it to the people around me. I owed it to my kids to try. And it was days where I would get out the bed and, obviously I had to go live with family, but it was days
mhm,
when I got out the bed and I just tried to stand up and I fall on the floor. I would have to lay there until somebody came home,
mhm.
so they could help me get back in the bed. But I kept trying. I kept trying. Every day they come home, they're gonna find me on the floor because ain't no way you telling me I ain't gonna be able to walk again. And that's kind of like what it was. Like I kept trying to walk, even though I couldn't. I kept
Mhm.
on going. Then it got to a point where I could walk with the cane. Then it got to a point where I was holding on to the walls when I walk. I bounced myself off the bed, up to the dresser, grab the door frame, then go to, it was like that. And it was really piece by piece. And it was one of the most trying processes. Like I thought I went through some things before, but it's nothing like it because, you can't use the bathroom on your own. It's a lot, man.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, from a mental capacity, it was draining because it was like every day you just see the same four walls. You know what I'm saying? TV don't look the same when you just laying on your back all day. It ain't
Yeah.
enough TV in the world. One day I was like, I wish I ain't have to work so I could just binge watch such and such and such and such. Did that. Look, let me tell you, they're overrated. Rough.
Oh goodness. And so you had, I guess, a while of physical therapy. Did you have OT also, or
I didn't do no physical therapy.
what?
I did no physical therapy. I started walking on my own because the physical therapists were going off of what the doctor said. They weren't
Mm-hmm.
trying to get me to walk again. They were trying to
Mm-hmm.
strengthen other motor skills, like get my arms and stuff strong to pull me up in place. I'm like, nah, that ain't what I'm here for. I'm here to walk. And in the beginning I couldn't walk. They wasn't letting me walk for sure. They wanted me to change my life. Their therapy was centered around me changing the way I was living. It wasn't to get back to how I was living.
Mm.
And that's what I wanted. And I don't know where I would be mentally if I wasn't able to get to this point, but thank God that I did.
Yeah. So you therapied yourself.
I therapy myself. And I mental therapy myself too. Because that time that I had was
Mm-hmm.
like well needed. Like I never knew how much I had to work out with myself. And
Mm.
for you gotta think it was probably like 3 months before I started like really trying to do things.
Yeah.
So just imagine being in the house for a week by yourself and
Mm-hmm.
people checking on you of course, but just imagine like being by yourself. Like how much thinking you do, how much analyzing you do about your actions, your interactions, about the way you treat people, about the way you parent, about the things you rap about the way you react to road rage, about the way you react, you think about all that stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I did a mental therapy as well because people kind of push that under the rug when they just look at the physical part. But mentally, I was depressed. I was at
Mm-hmm.
my lowest. I was at my lowest state that I could possibly be in. Like I felt like I didn't even want to live no more because of the challenges. And then, I had to keep telling myself every day, God did this for a reason. You here for a reason. You know this, you know that. And I believed it after a while. But in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, I didn't have anything to tell myself because
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't in a place before an accident happened to tell myself anything for something like this to happen. But that time made me a better person. It made me treat people around me better. It made me look at things differently. I wasn't the same after the accident. I just wasn't the same.
Mm. That's good. Yeah, because I think I was gonna ask you next, like, how did the experience shift your perspective on life?
Changed everything. It changed the way I look at everything. I don't look at a day the same. I don't look at anything the same. Like when I go to the studio and record is not the same. The jobs and the things that I do except working with certain people is not the same. I want more because I'm worth more. I figured out, I'm just different. I see everything different. Like as opposed to I may take one job a year ago that I just wouldn't take now with the camera, or it may be one show that I would have did last year that I just wouldn't do now. It
Mm-hmm.
changed me holistically. It changed it reshaped my mind 100%.
Wow. So, how about your communication and thoughts? Like, how would you say that the accident or even the recovery process influence how you communicate your thoughts and emotions now?
I feel like my temperament is changed. I feel
Mm.
like my patience is changed. I felt like I was a great communicator before the accident, but now I'm more of a speak my piece and just let it be. I don't go too deep into trying to convince nobody about different things. I'm clear about what I say,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just what it is. And believe it or not, I probably do more listening than anything now. I listen way more than I used to. Used to have so many answers, being a subject matter expert with different things, or just wanting to help, and just what I'm saying, being overzealous to help and just saying so much. Now I just say less. People like say less. Nah, now I really say less. And literally,
Interesting. Well, you've watched my show, so you know that I focus a lot on brain injury, and that was actually something I thought about with you, and I wondered about. But as I listen to you talk, you sound great.
can I eat fry? Are you allowed to eat fries on
Yeah, you eat fries.
here? Yeah, mentally I feel like I'm good, but I've been needing to get some neurological work done, and I've been putting it off because I'm scared of what they're gonna say. But I'm gonna go do that eventually because when you have head trauma, I mean, you could speak better to this, but I know you told me you was like you need to get it checked, but I just kind of feel like I'm good. So I think the part that the brain might have affected was the bad part of me. So maybe good is not working right now.
Oh, you kind of funny too. Um, well, we can have an offline conversation about some of that.
That sounds like it's gonna cost.
Well, I do have a lab at Howard University where we do not charge right now. So
Hmm. Might need to get that. I might need to take you up on that.
you might
I
need
need
it.
to charge. I got good insurance. I need to charge them people.
We on our way. We on our
You
way.
know, I had just started a new job. I'm sorry for waving this fly in the air. I'm
No,
so
you
sorry.
fine. You fine. You
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, sorry. My life, language, and lyrics. This is what it is. So I got into the accident, and my insurance. I got into an accident Sa- Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
My insurance went out the next Friday.
Are you serious?
They put me out the hospital.
They put you out.
I wish I was making it up. Like they was like, we need another insurance. And I'm like, why we need another insurance? This accident happened. Well, I still had insurance. They should still be charging it. They was like, yeah, unfortunately, we can't give you any more care. And I was like, now, later down the line, I figured out that there was probably some loopholes that I could have used, but they
Mm-hmm.
literally, after like a couple days, they was talking about putting me out. Then not too many weeks in, they put me out of the hospital.
Oh
Was
my
just discharged me against my own will. And I told them, I'm not ready. There you have it.
my goodness.
I should say the hospital name, shouldn't I?
I didn't think they were
I don't want y'all to
specific.
get into no trauma in there. Don't get no trauma over there in that part of the world because they're gonna put you out of the hospital.
Good grief. Let me ask you this, and you may have already kind of talked about this. Well, actually, you did talk about this, that, there were some moments where you felt depressed and things like that. And so when you got into those spaces of questioning life or questioning how you move forward, how did you navigate through that? How did you push yourself forward?
I don't know how I did it. I don't think I did it.
Mm.
I think God did it because
Mhm.
man, even when I did start walking again, the mental health was worse. It was worse than when I was laying down.
Mhm.
And it's like you do a whole year, whole summer. This my prime right now. You do a whole summer on your back and you ain't
Mhm.
locked up. You just out of commission. So much that happened. My mental was, I don't know what happened. It had to be God, man.
Mm.
It had to be God, man. Because I just, I couldn't pull myself out of that place. I wish I could say that I would. I knew that I wanted more. I knew what the current situation was, but I couldn't have did that. Couldn't.
Mhm.
I couldn't. I was too deep. I was too deep in regret of of things I've done. I was deep in regret and hurt about what happened. It was so much that was hitting me when this happened. It was no way I could have pulled myself out of that space. There's no way.
Wow. So you just
That
he
was a good answer, right? That was really
it
good, but
was
it was
it
true
was
though.
very good. It was very good. I was all in. So
Thank God. Thank you up there, God.
yeah. Well, you said you let him take the wheel, so you just kind of let him keep driving.
I swear. Once I seen I was about to hit that wall, I think I fainted. I, was like- I knew that wall was going. mm, I was going 130 miles per hour
Now I'm not gonna ask you no more about that, but that's
offline.
yeah,
I got a laboratory offline, and I don't charge to tell the story.
oh goodness. Um, and then I guess when you started feeling yourself kind of coming back to yourself, if you felt that, did you have any particular thing or even a person that like served as like an anchor for you?
Oh yeah, I was um I was at odds with my manager at this time, and when he hear this, he probably gonna be like, "No, we wasn't." And let me change that. We weren't at odds. We was we, I believe as real friends, sometimes you need a break from each other, and we
Mm-hmm.
was on a break. And if I was, talking to him regularly, it's a strong chance that I would have never been in a position to get into the accident that I was in. But when he heard that I had got into the accident, he came.
Mm-hmm.
Groovy, my other manager and my best friend, she came. It was a lot of people that came when it happened, but then, after it happens, then you have a whole nother fight to fight. And Zay was
Mm-hmm.
there. It was Zay, Groovy. It was a lot of people. It's too many to name. And not even from just the standpoint of just being there. I wasn't working. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, being out for a year, I probably had a good savings to go a couple of months, maybe like six, maybe. So I needed monetarily to be helped. I need
Mm-hmm.
people to send that cash over.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I see I have a lot of things going on. So my bills are probably higher than the average person because I have so much tied up into different, things that I'm investing in. And it may not even be investments. It may be people that I may be invested in, ideas
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted to do that I was invested in. So when I got in the accident, all that stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had close friends and family that were there that I could say, I need this. And there was a couple of people who was able to give me that support because outside of just telling me I'm gonna be okay every day, I need some money. I can't walk nowhere. I need a DoorDash, like send a cash over. I needed it. And people were sending it. And I've never been a person that was tight about money or wouldn't give to a person who needed. And God showed me that favor through certain people. My friend Stephanie, I know her for years. And she used to send me money by the 40s, 20s, whatever I asked for, she sent it. Um, I feel like different people play different parts. Zay kind of kept me in mentally. Groovy financially was helping me. It's a lot of different people. I can't even say all the names, but it's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people. Like I met this girl. True story. True story. I met a girl when I was on a walker.
Mm-hmm.
Craziest thing that ever happened to me. I said, dang, I still got it. I still got it. And mind you, I'm post accident, no haircut, nothing. I'm out with a walker and an essential sweatsuit. Hair ain't cut. I'm just out here winging it. I got the baggy sweatsuit on because I lost so much weight. I look like a crackhead. I got a girl on the walker. That's what brought me back right there. I was like, I still got it. There ain't no way. It was so many men in this space where I met her at that had legs and could walk. Lord, I met this girl with a walker. And you know what? Honestly, she played a huge part, probably more than she even knows.
Mm-hmm.
Because something about, just a woman, you know what I'm saying? Like something about a woman, not just a regular woman that's your friend, but like a woman that you like talking to. I don't know what she was thinking because I ain't got no legs. I don't know what she thought. And it was like, that gave me hope. Crazy as
Mm-hmm.
it may sound. This sound crazy what I'm saying, but if you
Mm-hmm.
had to go through that, first of all, can I say I don't want to say I'm that I'm that guy if I could get somebody on a walker. But what it did for my mental, it made me feel
Mm-hmm.
like it was hope. Because,
Mm-hmm.
my beard was breaking off. It's back now, thank God. I ain't have a haircut, thank God I'm back now.
Mm-hmm.
Some people gotta go bald. I'm still here. And it was just like she did a lot for me. Even not to take anything away from the things people did monetarily or mentally for me, she did a lot for me because she
Mm,
just gave me hope. And she wasn't doing nothing but coming over, watching movies with me, texting me all day. I'm in the house. I ain't got nothing to do but text. Yeah. So it's
yeah.
like that did a lot for me. And it probably don't even seem like it makes sense right now, but it did though. It did so much for me because it made me feel like I had hope to get
Yeah.
back out there.
Now that makes plenty sense to me. As humans, even when we think that we need to go through things by ourselves, having somebody else there,
It
even if
helps
they're not saying something, it helps immensely. Yes.
big
So it
time.
makes sense to me.
And it, see me setting it up. Oh, I
Setting
thought
it
you
up.
seen me setting up my sauce and my chicken nuggets. I thought you seen it. My bad.
Mm-mm, no,
Sorry.
I didn't see your chicken nuggets. So, in terms of like you being a storyteller, did any of your creativity, any parts of that play a role in your healing process?
Yeah, because I feel like at some point when I can financially, I want to write the story.
Mm-hmm.
I want to write this, but see, there's so many pieces to the story. But when I got to a certain point, I was able to edit. I do a lot of editing, so that was a way for me to make some type of money, to get some type of money coming in. When I got to a point where I could, sit up and be in a chair, I did a lot of editing for people. Like people may get somebody to shoot the video, but then they send it to me to edit it because they know I was pretty good at editing. So that played a role from that part. Um, I did put out an album while I eventually, while I was, in the bed. I made a whole album laying in the bed,
Mm-hmm.
not able to walk. Whole album. Crazy. It's called
Wow.
Summer's Over. And the one before that,
Mm.
oh, I can't remember what the one before that was called. That's that. Maybe part of that brain damage.
Now, yeah, brain damage is. So let me ask you, what can we expect from you musically now?
Oh man. Well, I'm doing a concert on July 12th this year at Mix and Mingle in Clinton, Maryland. That show was kind of geared towards the women. It's gonna be a lot of poetry. I'm stepping into a different realm with this show, kind of put on more of a side B type of performance. A lot of lyricism, a lot of poetry, a lot of things for the women and men who like that type of music too. But
Mm-hmm.
um, other than that, I'm working on an album right now. I've been working on it for man, been a while too. I've been working on the album. I feel like the next thing that people can expect from me outside of that is, outside of the show, is just a complete body of work that takes a deep dive into what life is like both now for me
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, the feelings that I was able to capture from that. I did a song on the last album that I put out called After the Crash, where it
Mm-hmm.
kind of like highlighted what I went through and how I felt. And I feel like musically, I'm ready to move on from that space. I don't want to make any more music about the car crash. That I did that. I made a song for it and I gave it to people. Now, I might still perform that song from time to time if I feel inclined, but I
Mm-hmm.
think that people could expect me as if the accident never happened at this point. Back
Mm-hmm.
better than ever, I'm sharper, I'm thinking sharper. The message is still the message. The work is still the work. And I think that as a result of everything that I've been through, I feel like I can finally put out the project that I have been trying to put out for the past 3.5 years.
Mm, okay. Okay, that sounds exciting. Uh,
Exhausting.
most projects are exhausting.
No lie. I'm in the studio with Zay the other day. No lie. Some of y'all might know, some of y'all might know. I was in the studio with Zay and Groovy the other day, and I made like 4 songs. And they like, yeah, we like one of them. One. So imagine what I'm up against. And I told you I made 20 songs. They only like one
Mhm.
out of four. Imagine what they think about the other 16. It's rough, man. It's a lot of work, but I'm putting in the work, and I'm going out a lot. I'm going out capturing the feeling of what the summer feel like. I don't know when the album going to drop. One of my homeboys is incarcerated right now, and I promised him that when he came home, I would drop it as a welcome home thing, and I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hold true to that. I'm going to drop a couple of singles. I got a single right now that's already done, that's ready. We about to start rolling it out to drop that. So that would be the first thing that you probably could look forward to because that single should be coming out in June, right before the show.
So not
Accident gave me this gray hair.
it gave you the gray. So you
That's why I
gained
think
some wisdom.
lost some weight and gained gray hair, making me look older than I really
They
am.
call that wisdom.
Is that what they call it? Yeah, I think I
Mm.
learned it. I think I learned it.
It sounds like it from what you've been telling me today.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so.
Thinking about your music, how would you hope, or do you hope that your music resonates with any listeners that have faced their own challenges?
I hope is the music is a blueprint for you to really just get up and go do something.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to accept the situations that life gives you. Sometimes there are catastrophic things that happen where it's impossible to walk. But life doesn't stop with tragedy. It
Mm-hmm.
begins because life is good when it's good. But when you have to fight and you have something to push through and persevere for, that's the story. We all living. We all got a different story. It's more to it than just day parties, rooftops, and brunches. God knows I love it. But it's just a lot to go through. And I think that it would be a shame to live this life and not have to go through anything because someday you're going to lay on your back and it's going to be over. And what do
Mm-hmm.
you think about? So I hope that my music is just a motivating factor, force for people to come out of this situation to want to do better. I rap about a lot of extravagant things that I do, a lot of amazing things that hard work has, made a space for me to be able to, you know, do. And I just hope that people take that motivation and live their life, man. Like, be fly, be you, live because you only get to do it once, as I know. I don't know about people who've been here 3 times and all that, but live, man. Go through it. Just go through it. It's a lot of stuff that's gonna happen. And if life is that good for you, then make it better for somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are there any songs, and it could be your own or it could be somebody else's music, that you would say described your journey through recovery?
Treat her like a lady.
Hmm. Why that song?
Crazy, crazy that I say it, right? Because I was in a phase after my last relationship where I just think that I was in a space where my insecurities were kicking in and I just felt like I needed a lot of women.
Mm,
And that was one of the biggest things that I dealt with myself about when I got into my accident. I didn't want to be that person anymore.
mm,
Um, I looked at it as I have a daughter, I got a mother, a sister, a aunt,
mm,
and I just really treat ladies like ladies. Not that I didn't before, but
mm,
I think that is the certain amount of abuse, not physically,
mm,
but verbally or just gesturally that sometimes we as men can display to women. And a lot of
mm,
people may look at this and be like, oh, he's an abuser. No. I understood that instead of just being intertwined with multiple women, then I
mm,
just wanted one. And then,
mm,
think that that's one of the biggest things that I took away from my accident because I don't know if you would call it a womanizer. I don't know what the full definition of womanizer is, but I think it's like cheating and stuff like that. Yeah, I was that guy. And after the accident, I listened to Treat Her Like a Lady so many times.
mm,
And just the simple things. Treat a
mm,
woman like a lady. And if she a lady, treat her like the only one. Can't treat
mm,
all of them the same, you know?
mm,
And that's going to sound crazy to a lot of people when they hear it, but it's true though. And that was something that really helped me understand why a lot of things happened to me and why I lost certain things because of the way that I treated people, you know?
mm.
And people won't maybe resonate with that because they may have not done that work themselves, or that might not be their advice. But to some, it's a huge thing, especially culturally.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for
You weren't
sharing
ready for
that.
that. You was not ready for that. You was like,
I
what?
didn't know I didn't know where he was going, but I appreciated it. I appreciate it. Because it made me also think about because I was first introduced to you when you came. I don't know if you had just came out with the Sincerely New.
I did.
I liked that album. I thought it was good. But I think I could hear some of the things you were just talking about in the songs in that album.
You good. You good. You good. You caught you caught it right. It was like, man. Okay. So now,
Hmm.
saying what I just said, you can understand
Hmm.
the evolution. Because I feel like I was crying out about those issues and vices on those projects. I never
Hmm.
glorified it, but
Hmm.
I've been doing some work.
So now I'm gonna ask you about some songs that relate to you. It could be one of your songs, it could be somebody else's song, it can be the lyrics from a song. So the first one I want to know is a song or lyrics that describes who you are right now. And I asked this one because I saw on your YouTube page that your description says, I'm not a rapper, I'm an artist. The words paint a picture to show you where my heart is. So,
Almost. Almost. I'm not a rapper. I just talk.
mm,
So
well,
you
that's
was
not
real
what your
close. I mean, technically
that's what
artist
your
and
YouTube
art.
page says.
Yeah. Oh, maybe
Mm-hmm.
I did say that. Artist maybe make a little bit more sense. But yeah, that's how I feel though. Because I feel like I don't make music. I make pieces. That's it for me. So what were you asking about the song about that?
Yeah, what is a song that describes who you are right now, where you are right now?
No free goes. Spike New. Louis exhibit in Paris. I got lost in my phone looking for different tiers. My girl is the queen, my daughter need a tier. My DMs used to go stupid. I know you wish you was here. Heartbreak New. Make sure the light on if you gonna walk with me. Posting stuff on social, but when you see me, you don't talk to me. Mm,
Mm.
I love that line. I love that line. You got to get all the way to that line.
That's a good one. What is a song or lyrics that helps you to relax?
She's not my kind of girl, New Edition.
Okay, 90s.
Sorry. I love that song. I listen to a lot of old school music when I'm trying to relax, like decompress type stuff.
Okay. That's what I like that too. I listen to that when I bake.
Yeah,
Um,
I heard you say bacon in the beginning. Then I seen the lady on here baking. Like you gotta break, like you gotta let us see something. Got to.
I tell you about my baking.
Okay,
Uh,
all right, listen.
and so, what about something that motivates you to keep pushing when you feel like quitting?
A song
Mm-hmm.
or something. A song.
A song.
Hey, Big X. I listen to Big X. He be like, hey, I just took him about this to tell all these niggas it's my time. See, I like Big X. Big X, when I'm trying to get motivated, I listen to Big X. I listen to the Big X. I listen to like some Jeezy. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Yeah. I listen to a lot of rock and roll music too. Like if I'm in the gym working out or something, I do like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of like rock and roll type of stuff too as well.
Okay, that sounds good. And which one of your songs do you believe resonates the most with your fans?
Boyfriend, girlfriend thing.
Mm,
I mean, it's the highest charting song that I got, so
okay.
I'm just
Why do you think
assuming
that
that
is?
Because it's when I look at my analytics, it's the song that get played the most.
Oh, strictly numbers. Okay.
I mean, I'm just thinking because I honestly feel like there are a lot of people who don't know that I exist or that my
Mm-hmm.
music exists. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like my full crowd is not even been exposed to my music yet. But if I
Mm-hmm.
was to just go by, what the numbers say, it would be boyfriend girlfriend thing.
Okay. Okay. How you feel about that song? Is it one of your favorites or?
I love it. It's a song about a relationship, a great relationship, a healthy relationship between a man and a woman. I don't know if you remember boyfriend girlfriend thing, the play that Donnell Crowd used to do back in the day. You're not from
Mm,
here?
I'm not.
Oh, okay, that's why you don't know about it. It was a DMV thing. It was out when I was like in middle school and stuff. I named it after that play. That play was about relationships, and it was a pastor that put it on. He was like a youth pastor. He put on this
Mm-hmm.
play about a teenage girl in a relationship called boyfriend girlfriend thing, and it went over a lot of the adversity and things that teens face when starting dating and things of that nature. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool. And then
God rest his soul. He passed away.
the last thing I ask you is, do you have any? It could be an affirmation, a quote, a scripture, or anything that you tell yourself that you would want to share.
Mm. I feel like my affirmations may change
Mm-hmm.
from time to time. But
Yeah.
the number one thing that I say is follow the commandments and fear God.
Mm.
Yeah. There's a lot of people lost in religion when God never called us to be religious. We were a set apart people. And, I don't want to get into that. But yeah, that's my number one thing. Follow the commandments and fear God.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, Spike, this was good. This was
It was so good.
interesting.
It was so good. It was so
Yeah.
good. It was so good. I wish I could watch it again.
Do you want to tell people how they can find you? You already kind of talked about what you have coming up, but you want to give a little bit more of that.
Yeah, you can find me at Spike underscore NU new on pretty much everything that I'm on. Facebook, Instagram. Probably got a better chance at Instagram. Like, it's hard for me to manage all the social things. It's hard for
Mm-hmm.
me. I'm trying though. But yeah, that show July 12th, tickets on Eventbrite. You could go to Mixed and Mingle and get the tickets in person as well. Shooting a lot more videos this year. Hopefully we can get Laina to come be in some of the videos. We could get her like to do a cameo, like be in a video, like we could use her to like come mess with us. So yeah, other than that, I think I'm good. You will tell me about the bacon is offline because I feel like I need to do a podcast with you about your bacon, and I feel like we should have samples here to test. And I feel like instead of eating these French fries, I could have been eating like a strawberry shortcake. You know what I'm saying? Or the cake with the whipped cream. I love the cake with the whipped cream. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I will put all that information in the show notes and I'll put it in the captions of the post for the episode. And that is a wrap for this episode of Life, Language, and Lyrics. I hope you found something meaningful, inspiring, or just a little something comforting today. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow on YouTube and Instagram. Your support helps spread the word and keep these conversations going. Until next time, take care, stay inspired, and keep showing up for yourself. See y'all soon.